Hi there, and welcome back to Scheduling Fades. I am Jamie, and this is our mini series that is designed to give you a couple little tidbits that's going to help you unpack your natal chart on your path of self discovery, or maybe give you some new insights to look at things that you've always known about your natal chart. As always, there's more information at schedulingfate.com. You just want to go there and click on Learn Astrology. Of course, by hitting like and subscribe and commenting, you're going to be notified when I release these episodes, but you're also going to help other people find this channel, which of course allows me to continue to give you free content. Now, in this series, we have already talked about the ascendant, but I wanted to dial in just a little bit tighter as you're beginning to explore your natal chart and talk about the degree of your ascendant. Now, that degree of your ascendant, I think, really adds an overall layer and theme to your chart. The ascendant is very powerful in general. It sets up the first house. It has the tone of your chart. We want to know where the ruler is. It really is just a very beautiful portal into your life experience. But what I have found over the years is that those with an early, mid, or late degree ascendant tend to gauge certain energies that come in a little bit differently. On a personal note, I have a late degree ascendant. I tend to attract people with late degree ascendants into my life, but I also have people very close to me and clients close to me with the earlier ascendants. I will never forget what someone said about my chart years and years ago. And at that point, I already knew my chart and my energy very well. But they said, "You are a healer. You are a teacher." And I just thought that they were talking about the Sagittarius, but they were talking about the degree of the ascendant. So I want to explain where that interpretation came from, why they said that. There's 30 degrees in every zodiac sign. And that rising sign, let's say that you have a rising sign of 3 degrees. That means that 3 degrees of that zodiac sign was above the horizon before you took your first breath. Let's say that your ascendant is at 15 or 27. That means that 15 degrees was above the horizon before you took your first breath, or 27. Insert whatever degree your ascendant is. Now, if you have a late degree ascendant, just kind of imagine standing in the back of the line and watching other people have successes or make mistakes, or seeing the weather rolling across the horizon because you're seeing it come, because you're witnessing it. You have all this time in this late degree ascendant. You are able to think about how you can engage that energy differently. So often, if you have a late degree ascendant, they will say that you are a healer or you are a teacher because psychologically, emotionally, maybe even physically, you have worked with that energy before it arrives. So in the moment, you know exactly what to do. Now, as I said, I have a late degree ascendant. So the one time I moved, I hadn't moved in 20 years. But prior to moving, I was the one that was overwhelmed and stressed, but I had everything packed and in the pod, the baseboards clean. When it came to moving day, I had planned and prepared. I was ready for what was going to happen. So when the big day came, I knew exactly how to get everything done. But everyone around me had now met their chaos. Oh my gosh, what do we do? We don't have this covered or that covered. I was like a pro because I had planned it all out. That's just one example. That was a big epic move in my life. But when it comes to anything, I'm usually in the energy before it arrives, which is another reason why I could come on to this podcast and talk to you about how you're feeling this energy and how to cope with it. Because more than likely, a couple of days or weeks before, I had something happen to me, or I felt that energy in a different way. And now I'm able to unpack it and help heal, teach, guide you through it. If you have a mid to late degree ascendant, you have this superpower. Now, it will drive you crazy when you start looking at different house systems because your planets seem to shift depending on the house system that you're using. So you may be asking, what about the rest of us? What I love about the early degree ascendants, one is that it doesn't really matter what house system you use, you sort of seem to fall into pattern there. But you're one of those people that can survive in the moment. The energy envelops you and you're like, okay, this is what I need to do. And it could feel overwhelming at first, like you didn't see it coming. It was a bright sunny day and the sky opens up and it rains all over you. And you have to figure out how to work with that, how to dance in the rain, but you always do. You know how to survive the moment. Now, one of your biggest challenges would be to plan the next moment or plan forward because you're always working with the moment that you're in. On the other hand, the late degree ascendants, your biggest challenge is to be grounded in the moment that you are in, to appreciate where you are, because your energy is usually reaching out or worrying or planning something that's not here yet. So your challenge is to be in the moment. If you have an early degree ascendant, your challenge would be to plan forward. And if you're in the middle, you're thinking, well, what about me? I do think that those that have the ascendants that are right there in the middle, you have the gift of kind of reaching from either one of those aspects. You do have a little bit of a heads up on the energy that's coming in. If you choose to pay attention, you have plenty of time to plan and engage that energy. In other words, if you choose to quote unquote pay attention, to really notice and take a glance in that direction, you're going to see what's coming in. But at the same time, you have this ability to be in the moment that you're in, which means some of that energy can kind of sneak up on you. And you're like, wow, that really happened. This was all great. Now it's not, or this was a big challenge and now it's not. All right. So I hope that this mini episode gave you just a little bit more insight into your ascendant and its power and how it can blanket this theme over your entire chart. And I would love to know in the comments if you have an early, mid, or late degree ascendant, and do you sense things coming, or do you find that you are surviving the moment? All right. I'll see you on the next one.